This is OneWrestling.com, 24/7 wrestling news.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. I am the Mark of the Masses, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some TNA today. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk TNA Impact 12/6/2012. Final resolution is this Sunday. A lot of things are going to happen at Final Resolution. I have a feeling that it's going to be a very, very, very important show, a very important pay-per-view. A lot of things are going to happen. They're going to determine what's going to happen throughout next year. Final Resolution, very, very important pay-per-view. Mark my words. We start the night off and we have Kaz, we have Daniels, and we have Bobby Roode go to the ring. And Bobby Roode basically states on the microphone that he guarantees that he will be the World Heavyweight Champion come the end of Final Resolution. He said he made an investment. I guess we'll find out what that investment is later tonight. But Kaz and Daniels also go to the ring and they start cutting a promo, basically mocking AJ Styles. And Kaz basically says, or Daniels actually, makes a good point, saying that, well, AJ Styles has been pretty much a loser this whole year. Well, AJ Styles comes into the ring and he basically refutes Daniels' claim. Well, they go back and forth, and finally, the truth of the matter is AJ Styles is tired of hearing it. He attacks Daniels. Well, all three, Bobby Roode, Kaz, and Daniels, attack AJ Styles. Jeff Hardy and Cowboy James Storm make the save. Tonight's main event is going to be a six-man tag team. Cowboy James Storm, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles versus Bobby Roode, Kaz, and Daniels. Looking forward to seeing what happens later tonight. But we move on, and we have the television championship match between Samoa Joe and Devon. Now, what I feel is I think Samoa Joe has been a fantastic television champion. Will he hold on to the title? Well, basically tonight, towards the end of the match, we have him facing Devon. Devon said that he basically was never beaten for that title. Well, towards the end of the match, where you see Samoa Joe basically, in control, some blonde chick jumps onto the apron, and the referee is distracted. Well, while Samoa Joe has his back, gets hit by the ball beam hammer by DOC. DOC knocking him out, and Devon getting the 1, 2, 3. Devon actually wins the television championship. Now, the way the match ended, I wasn't really happy. I think Samoa Joe deserved a lot more as a television champion. I think he's held that title actually really well. But the truth of the matter is, right now the hot story is the Aces and Eights. So what is your feeling about this? Do you think maybe they should have had a little more of a rivalry? Do you think Joe should have lost the title that way so quickly on the television show on Impact instead of maybe the pay-per-view? I wasn't too happy about it, but again, I'm not a writer. This is just my opinion. I would like to know what your opinion is. We move on, and we have Al Snow backstage with D'Lo Brown. Basically, Al Snow says he woke up in the hospital. He has absolutely no idea what happened to him. He was missing his wallet, missing his cell phone. D'Lo looked very concerned. Interesting. Things are gonna be tied together, I think, very soon. I think, again, this pay-per-view, a lot of things are gonna come out into the light. But we move on. We have Mickie James, who actually comes to the ring looking smoking hot. Mickie James, she wanted to thank all the fans, and she came back from an injury, and Mickie James it's good to see her back. A welcome back chant actually breaks out in the audience. Well, Tara and her little boy toy come to the ring, because basically a Final Resolution, it will be Mickie James versus Tara for the Knockouts Championship. Well, out of the freaking blue, Velvet Sky, who has not been on TNA television for at least 6 months, comes to the ring, and she looks fantastic. She looks ready to go. And she basically said that it doesn't matter who's going to win. Whoever wins the match, Velvet Sky is coming after the Knockouts Championship. So we have Velvet Sky making a big comeback this week on Impact. We move on, and we have Little Robbie and Big Robbie versus the tag team champions Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. Pretty decent match. The match basically ends where Hernandez hits the pounce, frog splash, 1, 2, 3. But that wasn't the important thing. You see, Joey Ryan, the sleazebag that he is, comes down the aisle and he's like, everybody, give your attention to me. And while everybody's attention's on him, the Blueprint Mac Morgan comes in and decimates the tag team champions. Joey Ryan and Matt Morgan, I feel, will be the next tag team champions. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's better to maybe have Matt Morgan associated with Joey Ryan, but not as a tag team champion? Maybe focus more on Matt Morgan in a singles run, or do you like where this is going? My personal opinion is this: Matt Morgan has always had the talent. I think Joey Ryan is the perfect person to put him with. I had made a statement before that I felt that it was kind of like the old Diesel, Shawn Michaels thing. They fed off of each other. You got the little guy with the big mouth and you got the big guy with the muscle. I think it works. The formula has always worked. So I think if they continue to move in the right direction, maybe have them hold the tag team titles for a little while, establish Matt Morgan as a title holder, and then slowly move him away from Joey Ryan, maybe having them feud for a little while, building both of their characters. I think Matt Morgan could hold the title in late 2013. I would like to know what you guys think. So we go to the backstage, and we see the Aces and Eights backstage. And the Aces and Eights, well, they're having some fun. They're basically watching these girls dancing on the poles, and they're drinking their beer. Basically, if I had mentioned it before, the blonde girl was with a bunch of other girls. I guess they were paid entertainment. Well, Devon, celebrating his championship win, says, well, it's time to throw a dart. I guess they're going to come after somebody. But the vice president says, we don't have to. He opens an envelope, and in that envelope is a lot of money. Somebody has paid to put a hit on somebody. I guess we're going to find out later who it is. Kurt Angle to the ring versus DOC, in which was a pretty decent match. Again, overall, not the best show, but it was a pretty good show. Pretty decent matches. The X Division match later on steals the show. But anyway, that's a little later on. Kurt Angle hits the angle slam, and he has DOC in the ankle lock. Well, while this is going on, the Aces and Eights come into they surround the ring, and they're about to attack Kurt Angle. But who makes the save? Garrett Bischoff, Samoa Joe, and Wes Briscoe. After the match, Kurt Angle basically says that it's going to be his 4 versus any 4 of the Aces and Eights. My only fear, will it end up being 6-on-2 at the pay-per-view? I would like to know what you guys think. Okay, so now we have Hulk Hogan backstage, and he's on a cell phone with someone from OVW, which is the training facility for TNA wrestling, or the developmental facility. It's kind of like the like what NXT is for WWE. Actually, OVW, a little history, was in fact the training facility / the developmental territory for WWE. But now TNA is using it, and he's talking about a new talent, or talking to a new talent coming to work for TNA. Interesting. Well, anyway, while this is happening, while he's on the cell phone, he gets interrupted, brother, and he tells Bully Ray, "You should have knocked, dude." But Bully Ray basically last week demanded a match with Austin Aries, and Hulk Hogan said no. Well, Bully Ray says that this week he's not taking no for an answer. And Hulk Hogan laughs in his face and says, no. Well, Bully Ray basically says, well, then I'm taking over the show because I will not take no for an answer. I get what I want. Hulk Hogan doesn't seem very happy. Hulk Hogan says, well, be careful what you wish for. But we move on, and we have the match that stole the night. As always, the X Division. The X Division is so important to TNA's success. If they can, I feel if they really focus in on this talent, I think TNA can really go far. I would like to know what you guys think. Please leave a comment below. And one of the best talents in TNA right now is a young man named Kenny King. Now, I have a follower on Twitter. His name is Gary Sinelli. You can follow him on Twitter at Gary Sinelli on Twitter. And you can follow Big Ray here on Twitter. You can follow me here at onewrestling.com or on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray's Show. And Gary Sinelli feels that Kenny King is being underutilized. Well, anyway, this is what Gary Sinelli tweeted me this week. Thanks, Gary Sinelli. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please follow my buddy Gary Sinelli at Gary Sinelli on Twitter. I will plug your Twitter if you send me a good tweet. Follow me at Big Ray's Show. Again, you can always catch me at onewrestling.com or YouTube.com/onewrestlingvideo. But let's move on. And I want to focus not on the first part of Gary's tweet, but the second part where he says Kenny King is being underutilized. Well, Gary, I hope you're happy, buddy, because this week we had a great X Division match between Kid Cash, Zema Ion, and Kenny King. And guess what? Kenny King goes over, and he is now the #1 contender for the X Division Championship. I think we're going to see a whole lot more of Kenny King in the next coming weeks. Where do you see Kenny King going? Can Kenny King help revitalize the X Division? I think so. I think Kenny King has all the tools, and apparently my buddy at Gary Sinelli has the same idea. Very interesting. But we're going to move on. Okay, so now we have Bully Ray backstage on the cell phone. And Bully Ray's on the phone. He's basically talking to someone. It doesn't really make clear who he's talking to, saying that Hulk Hogan's hard-headed, so on and so forth. We can assume it's Brooke Hogan, but maybe it's not. Anyway, he basically says he's taking over the show. So he basically takes over the show. He gets in the ring, takes a fold-out chair, and sits in the middle of the ring. He's not going anywhere. Well, then Austin Aries, the master manipulator, comes down to the ring, actually down to the ramp, sets his chair up, and he starts, kind of, let's just say, instigating the situation. Both of them basically want a match. Hulk Hogan comes down the aisle, brother, dude. And Hulk Hogan gets into the ring and gives Bully Ray 2 options. And both of them lead to him leaving the ring. One, he gets fired. And the second one is getting his butt kicked by Hulk Hogan. Well, Bully Ray kicks the chair and gets in his face. Well, Brooke Hogan comes down the aisle. She makes the save, and Brooke Hogan tells her dad, "This is becoming too personal. You gotta stop." And Hulk Hogan gets tired of hearing Austin Aries outside the ring instigating and arguing. They finally get the match, and I think it's going to be a really good match. I would like to know what you guys think. We move on to the main event of the evening. Jeff Hardy, Cowboy James Storm, and AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, who hasn't been so phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen, versus Kaz Daniels and Bobby Roode, the It Factor. Now, I'm going to focus more on what happens after the match. But right now, I'll tell you that AJ Styles, again, wasn't himself. As a matter of fact, towards the end of the match, Jeff Hardy had to tag himself in, hit Kaz with a twist of fate to get the 1-2-3. AJ Styles stomped out of the ring like a little child, and Cowboy James Storm follows him backstage to try to talk to him, I guess, and find out what the hell's going on with him. Well, while Jeff Hardy's in the ring by himself, the Aces and Eights come and attack. And they decimate Jeff Hardy. They beat the living hell out of Jeff Hardy. I got to tell you something. I was literally shocked at the end of the match when I saw Bobby Roode standing atop the ramp giving the thumbs up to the Aces and Eights. Bobby Roode paid the Aces and Eights off to beat Jeff Hardy. And Bobby Roode says, it pays to be rude. Now, something that I didn't actually, mention during my recap of the show, and that's during the show there were vignettes, like post-apocalyptic vignettes, and it read, "A reckoning is at hand. Their road to hell will be paved in their own blood," with a date of 1/3/13. The heck does that mean? Do you have any idea, ladies and gentlemen? I don't. Maybe I do. I would like to know what you guys think. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You can follow me every week here at OneWrestling.com or YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray's Show. And if you send me a tweet, I'll plug your Twitter. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Big Ray's Wrestling Show. I say it every single week. I would do it for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, Final Resolution is this weekend, and I think a lot of things are going to go down, and we're going to find out a whole lot about aces and eights. Again, that's my opinion. I would like to know what yours is. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next time. Oh, and don't forget, I'm going to try to record a preview of Final Resolution, who I think is going to win. How I would basically book the show. I would like to know how you guys would book Final Resolution. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, again, Big Ray, I'm out. See you next time.